I'm doing what I hope will be the final minor levelling. I'm not matting the surface or anything, I'm just knocking off any minuscule dust bumps or irregularities that I see. Or feel. As I think I mentioned before, I call the next step burnishing, where I switch to a different rubber, a dirtier one, and have it quite dry with almost no shellac, but a lot more oil. And the idea here is to just kind of smooth over the surface, bring out a bit more gloss. The shellac kind of melts and softens, and the oil smooths it over. A lot more pressure. Really start to get a bit of a gloss happening now. There are actually 3 more steps in the French polishing process: spiriting off, car cutting compound, and furniture polish. But there's some naked wood here, and I don't want any of those things getting near that. So we're going to glue on the bridge. The clamping screws have got a bit of glue gummed in the threads, which I'll need to clean out. They also compressed and scarred just a little bit the edges of the bridge pinholes. Now you won't be able to see that because they'll be covered by the shoulder of the bridge pins, but I'll clean it up a little bit, make it a little bit less obvious with a bit more shellac. What you see me doing now is something I most dislike doing and attempt to avoid. I am polishing the soundboard of a guitar while the bridge is glued on. And the reason I'm doing that is twofold. This is the guitar you did not see me glue the bridge on. And 2 things happened. Firstly, while I was wiping away the glue with a tissue and a moistened rag, either a little bit of grit got in or my fingernail made a scratch along the soundboard offset from the profile of the top of the bridge. Secondly, this was the replacement bridge that I built using the first one, which I had damaged, as a template. And I had to do that after the holes had already been drilled, and I must have been out by about 0.5 millimetre or less, but you can sort of see the join line around the line of shellac where we masked it more than I'd hoped. So for those 2 reasons, I need to redo some of the finish. It's going to take a little bit longer, and I'm not going to hurry it. And I really hope to get it so that you won't be able to tell which is which, though that may be in vain. Okay, back to the other guitar. The phase I am moving on with now is called spiriting off. New rubber, very, very clean rubber with only the smallest amount of alcohol or very, very dilute shellac. It's merely the tiniest bit damp. You can wipe it on your face and nothing will come off. The idea is that small amounts of oil have embedded themselves in the resin and they kind of work their way up to the top and dull the finish a little bit. And so this is supposed to remove them and then shine it up again. In some circumstances, it can really be the magic that brings out a very good looking finish. If you intended to keep a guitar like this under glass in museum conditions, its looks would last. But if you intended to actually play it, use it from day to day, let alone take it on gigs, this is as good as it is ever going to look. But believe it or not, I'm going to try to make it look even better. But those final two steps are going to have to wait until this shellac is rock hard. I'm sanding off the very edge of the shellac where it butted up against the masking tape so that we have a nice transition between the neck and the fingerboard. It involves a tiny amount of damage to the lovely smooth finish we've put on it, but that can't be avoided and we can improve that a bit later. The second last step is car polish, or ultrafine cutting compound, and a lot of elbow grease. And the final step of the finishing process is furniture polish. I don't claim to understand the chemistry, but it just kind of puts a bit more protection and shine. This one doesn't require so much work, easy on, easy off. This strap lock button was quite easy, so I just did it. This one's a bit more nerve-wracking. That is secure. I'm just reaming out the shellac that's found its way inside the hole. With a guitar, the tuners are in line with each other, so you can just lay a ruler across the top, and if the tops are along the same line, they're aligned. With these offset ones, you've got to do it by eye, and that's not easy. Oh well, if they're wrong, they're not very wrong. I can't see the difference. Well, that's looking pretty good. Next time, the setup.